I'm running away, trying to find a better day. Don't know what to say, I just think of yesterday. Get away, I wish I could fly. I get the birds are getting high. I'm ready to die, if only I could touch the sky. I'm dreaming away now, living yesterday without a trace, without a trace. Tomorrow's okay now, I believe brighter days gonna be just like the sweetest embrace. I feel like a bird, like an angel in the sky. It's getting me high, I can laugh and I can fly. Don't wanna die, I'm flying away. Hold my dreams within my way. The heart gives me ray, never think of yesterday. I'm dreaming away now, living yesterday without a trace, without a trace. Tomorrow's okay now, I believe brighter days gonna be just like the sweetest embrace. Without a trace, without a trace. Tomorrow's okay now, I believe brighter days gonna be just like the sweetest embrace.